The insistent chirping of a notification cut through the morning quiet. Ramesh, eyes still glued to his phone, deftly swiped away the alarm. It was the first of many digital intrusions that would define his day. Across town, Sonia stirred beneath her duvet, her hand instinctively reaching for her phone on the bedside table. The glow of the screen illuminated her face as she scrolled through a never-ending feed of social media updates. It was 7 o'clock in the morning, and already the tendrils of the social media trap had begun to tighten their grip. Ramesh and Sonia, both second-year students at the local university, were about to embark on another day. However, unlike their peers, who embraced the opportunity for learning and growth, their day would be punctuated by the distractions and fleeting dopamine hits of the digital world. From the moment they opened their eyes to the time they finally drifted off to sleep, their lives would be governed by the demands of their smartphones, leading them down a path of unproductivity and emotional exhaustion. Ramesh stumbled out of bed and went through the motions of getting ready. All the while, his phone remained an ever-present companion. He scrolled through Instagram, catching glimpses of curated lives and perfectly filtered realities. He scanned headlines, absorbing just enough information to feel connected, but not enough to truly engage. By the time he left his flat, he had already spent an hour in the digital ether, his mind buzzing with fragmented information and a nagging sense of inadequacy. Sonia's morning routine followed a similar pattern. She browsed through fashion blogs, her desire for the latest trends growing with every swipe. She watched makeup tutorials, comparing her own reflection to the flawless faces on the screen. The minutes slipped away, and with them the opportunity to start her day with intention and purpose. Instead, she felt a growing sense of anxiety and a lingering dissatisfaction with her own life. The lecture hall was abuzz with the quiet murmur of students preparing for the day's lesson. Professor Sharma, a kind but firm woman with a passion for history, began her lecture on the Mughal Empire. However, Ramesh and Sonia found it increasingly difficult to focus. Ramesh's phone vibrated incessantly with messages from his friends, each notification pulling him further away from the intricacies of the Mughal court. Sonia, on the other hand, was lost in a sea of online quizzes. "What kind of bread are you?" one quiz proclaimed. Another promised to reveal her spirit animal. With each click and every share, she delved deeper into the rabbit hole of online trivia, her notes remaining woefully empty. The valuable information being shared by Professor Sharma, the knowledge that could have enriched their understanding of the world, was lost in the digital noise. Section 4, Lunch Break, a contrast in digital diets. The canteen was a hive of activity, filled with the clatter of cutlery and the animated chatter of students. Ramesh sat with his friends, his eyes darting between his lunch and the football scores flashing on his phone. He barely participated in the conversation, his attention consumed by the latest updates on the game. He scrolled through comments, engaging in heated debates with strangers about offside rulings and penalty decisions. Across the room, Sonia sat alone, picking at her salad and scrolling through Instagram. Images of exotic holidays, designer clothes, and picture-perfect couples filled her feed. A pang of loneliness washed over her as she compared her own life to the curated realities on display. She craved the validation of likes and comments, seeking solace in the fleeting connections of the digital world. Section 5, The Allure of Instant Gratification. The afternoon found Ramesh and Sonia in the library, attempting to make a dent in their ever-growing pile of assignments. However, the allure of the digital world proved too strong to resist. Ramesh, tasked with writing an essay on the impact of social media on society, found himself sucked into the very vortex he was supposed to be analyzing. He watched YouTube videos, ostensibly for research purposes, but soon found himself clicking on recommended videos, his procrastination spiraling out of control. Sonia, meanwhile, was struggling to concentrate on her economics textbook. The complex theories and equations swam before her eyes, failing to hold her attention. She sought refuge in the instant gratification of social media, liking posts and commenting on photos, her mind craving the dopamine rush of each interaction. Hours passed, and their assignments remained untouched, the weight of their procrastination growing heavier with each passing minute. Section 6, Retail Therapy and the Endless Scroll. As evening approached, Ramesh and Sonia decided to take a break from their studies and head to the mall. What started as a quick errand for some stationery quickly descended into an impulsive shopping spree. Influenced by the targeted ads that had been following them relentlessly online, they found themselves drawn to the latest gadgets and trendiest clothes. Each purchase, they reasoned, would bring them closer to the idealized versions of themselves they had constructed online. Their phones, now extensions of their own bodies, guided their every move. They consulted reviews, compared prices, and documented their purchases with carefully curated photos and witty captions. The mall, once a place of social interaction and shared experiences, had become a backdrop for their digital lives, their physical presence secondary to their online personas.